Yo, we are here. Y'all been waiting. So when you gonna do it live? When you gonna come back and do it live and do a commentary live? Well, we back, man. They said he missed the kid. They missed the kid. The missed the kid. The missed the kid. The missed the kid. What's up, Gemini? What's going on? All right, so let's get it. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. You know the freaking vibes, man. You know the freaking vibes, man. You know it is. Suicide Squad, keep it 100 and fair. Might be some biasness here and there, depending on who, what, when, and where. All right, y'all make sure y'all do that. All right, we still do our thing though. All right, so what do we do right here? Okay. Where it's at? Where it's at? Okay, there it is. There it is. There it is. All right. No, that's not it. Where is it at? I'm tripping. There it is. All right. So Mirror 29 is the Cash App. PayPal Suicide Ace 29. All right. Now make sure y'all, if y'all got a Bigo account, follow me on Bigo. Bigo is past elite on Bigo. All right. You know the freaking vibes, man. Let's stop playing. All right. Without no further ado, before we get started, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, this gonna be a little. This gonna be like a little hour joint. You know what I'm saying? Get your popcorn and all that ready, and we're gonna go ahead and light this thing up. All right, bang.
Who the fuck did this?
It's the pros.
People. All right, so let's get into it, man. Dr. Umar has went off on Smithsonian National Museum on African, history. So let's get to it, man. You already know what time it is, man. Hold on, let's get to this shit. All right, share the audio.
There's no exhibit on black inventors, but you got a whole floor for basketball dunking, married to white women ass black men? Are you serious? Are you serious? Peace and love, black families. The Prince of Pan-Africanism, Dr. Umar Johnson. Because yesterday I had the privilege of visiting the all-new Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture. And I just want to give you my assessment of what I saw. Now, this is a museum that was signed into law by former President during his presidency 13 years ago. The idea was to former President George W. Bush, by Representative John Lewis and other members of the United States. Members of the United States Congress. Most of you remember Representative John Lewis. His character, his personalization was rendered to us in the. He was part of the Freedom Riders movement as a young man. In his older years, he's obviously become a U.S. congressman and a national icon to me, out of Georgia. He's a U.S. rep out of Georgia. John Lewis, civil rights icon. He marched with Dr. King. He's one of the few remaining living leaders who actually has a direct connection to other greats. One of the few. So, Laura Bush, George W. Bush's wife, actually sits on the board of directors or trustees for this new Smithsonian National African American Museum. So this was a George Bush project. And when you understand George Bush, I think you will understand why some of you, like me, will take issue with the museum after you've had an opportunity to visit it. Now, many of you, as did many of the brothers and sisters who I saw at the museum yesterday, many of you will have no problem with the museum. You will think that it's a beautiful contribution to the Black struggle. In fact, I would say probably 85% of African Americans who visit that museum will have no problem with what they see. But for 15% of us who have more than a superficial attachment, superficial love, and superficial commitment to African struggle, you're going to have a very serious problem with that museum. So let me just give you some of my observations and assessments. First of all, this museum cost $540 million. Let me say this again. This museum cost $540 million. That is almost half of $1 billion for this museum. Now, even if you like the museum, I want you to ask yourself a question when you go. Did what I just saw, take that back. Ask yourself, was what I just saw worth the $540 million price tag that was put on it? Ask yourself that. Before you even give an assessment of the museum, after you went through all 6 floors, all the different the cafe, the gift shop, the Oprah Winfrey Theater, ask yourself, do you feel this museum was worth $540 million? And then put that within the context that the same government that raised $540 million for this so-called museum won't even give you $2 million for a school, won't even give you $10 million for a hospital, won't give you a couple million for a bank, will not allocate millions to bring more Black teachers into the school. They will not allocate money to improve the living conditions of Black people in poverty. The same government.
All right, okay. Time out, time out, time out. He's saying this museum costs $540 million. Huh? $540 million. And he's saying to most people, it would be fine. But for a small percentage of Black people, y'all would not accept what's going on inside of that $540 million African History Museum. Now that's a big statement right there. That's a big statement to say. $540 million did not do justice for African history. Now, that's a lot of money right there. That's a lot of money. But he's saying 540 million just ain't enough. I don't think they did enough with that 540 million. Now, I ain't never been there. I might have to do some history on it or something, but I never been there, so I don't know if the 540 is worth it or not. But Dr. Umar said, no, it's not. What y'all think, man?
That just spent a $500 million on this museum won't even spend 1% of that to improve the lives of black people. So that's contradiction number one. That's contradiction number one. So when you go into this museum, and I'm going to simplify this for the sake of conversation, there are approximately 6 floors in this museum, approximately. There's 3 floors in the bottom that focus on history. And then there's 3 floors at the top that focus on contemporary African American culture, the here and the now. So the best way to proceed through the museum is to start at the bottom, which is the history, and then work your way up to today. So floor number 1 is slavery. Floor number 6 is where we are today. Okay? Now, the first thing, many of you know, what was my number one concern before going into this museum? I shared with you all that I was concerned that when I walk in this museum, it's going to start in slavery, given no context for the Great Ma'afa, given no historical interpretation of who we were before they stole us away, no explanation of the culture and civilization of African people before we got here, no talk of the various ethnic nations from which we come. We know that so many of us came from Ghana. We know that so many of us came from Nigeria. We know that so many of us came from what is now known as Liberia, Senegal, Sierra Leone, Congo. So you would expect a context to be created. Before we stole these people away from their ancestral homeland, they were doctors, they were lawyers, they were nation builders, they were civil engineers, they were deep into spirituality, they studied the universe. Provide a context for how slavery destroyed and imbalanced traditional African civilization. Provide a context for the intellectual theft. Provide a context for the theft of human life. You would expect that, right? But unfortunately, brothers and sisters, my concern, my fear that this museum was going to start in slavery, unfortunately, has proven to be true. The museum gives no historical narrative who African people were before we were brought here in slavery.
Uh-oh, there it is. Okay? So my man, Dr. Umar, you know what I'm saying, Mr. I Might Crush Your Cookies, okay? It's basically saying the storyline is not matching up. They're not giving you a real great storyline so you can match up who black people were or African people were before they got this place to that place. He's saying the chronological order is not in there. The chronological time frame is not in there. That's what he's saying. He said they didn't match up the time frame so people can understand. Okay, this is what happened. This is who we was here. This is who they was there. This is who they was before they got here. That's what he's saying, y'all. He said they didn't do their job. They didn't do the due diligence to give people who come there a real history lesson. He's saying when you go there, you're not going to get the in detail history lesson. That's what he's saying, man. If y'all know anybody else who has been there, please tell them to come holler at us so we can see. If y'all know anybody who visited this monumental museum, please tell them I would love to do an interview with them so we can see what it is, so we can compare and contrast what they saw, what they seen, versus Dr. Umar, what he saw and what he's seen and how he feels.
Museum starts in slavery. Yes, $540 million. And it starts in slavery. So that's number one. Number two, when you go through this first exhibit, the first floor, I'm going to say floor, they talk about our slavery, transatlantic slave trade, the different European countries that participated in it. Now, one of the biggest issues I had is there's some pictures on the wall that show how many slaves each European enslaving nation stole from Africa. So it has Denmark, Portugal, France, Europe, the Netherlands, and it'll say 5 million. This country stole 3 million from here, 500,000 from here. So when you add up all the slaves from Africa, according to these Smithsonian pictures, you will draw the conclusion that only 13 million Africans were stolen from Africa, thanks to George Bush and Laura Bush. 13, when you add it up, you get 13, no more than 15 million. See, this is the subliminal programming. This is the subliminal disrespect. Only 15 million Africans were stolen from Africa and brought to America. We know that's a damn lie. We know that's a damn lie.
Okay, we stop it right there. My man said that they got some exact numbers on inside of the museum. When you go to the box where it's all about history, they have numbers of slave owners and number of slaves. They got the slave owners with the number of slaves that they enslaved. Dr. Umar is saying he don't believe that that is the amount of slaves that they enslaved. He basically believes that there's more numbers than that. What do you feel about that? Do you think he has a right? Do you think Dr. Umar has a right to say that the people who built the museum, they're off by this many numbers or off by that many numbers? Do you believe he has a right to say that? Or do you believe like, hey, I'm rocking with Umar, it has to be those numbers are inaccurate? Or do you believe like, man, you don't know what you're talking about? Shut up, man. Do y'all think it's cool to put out a number without citing sources? Because we in the era where people talk about cite your sources. You know, in history class, and when you write that paper, you gotta cite your sources. When you become a scholar, everybody say cite your sources. And if you can't cite your sources, they start to doubt you. You ain't hearing me right now. Hit that Cash App Soul Mirror 29. Hit that PayPal Suicide 829. Hit that Super Chat. So Dr. Umar is calling out the museum because they're not citing their sources. Do you believe he can do that? Do you believe he can? Do you believe he can say? Do you believe he can challenge the museum without citing their sources? Because he trying to tell you the number they saying is a lie. Let me see what he said. Museums cite their sources. Well, he's saying their sources ain't real. Then that's what he's saying. We should know it's higher than that due to deaths and also inflated ship numbers. Yeah, so you rocking with Umar on this one? Okay. Umar is allergic to legitimate research. And research. All right, let's go. Searches were all trifling, says Miss Troll.
Damn lie. And that doesn't even include the generations of enslaved Africans who were born in America through breeding farms from 1808 to 1865. See, you just don't count those who were brought. You have to count those who were born into the system of European chattel slavery. No conversation. 13 million. And then when you walk through the first floor, the slave floor, is a statue of Thomas Jefferson. And if my memory serves me correctly, because I'm going to go again, because I was traumatized the first visit, so I need to go again. There's a statue of Thomas Jefferson. And if memory serves me correctly, the statue of Thomas Jefferson in the slavery exhibit. The statue of Thomas Jefferson in the slavery exhibit is taller. If memory serves me correctly, it's taller than any other exhibit on us in the slavery exhibit. How in the hell can a slave master, white supremacist, racist, child sex offender, child pedophile, Thomas Jefferson, who used to sexually molest a little black girl by the name of Sally Hemings, to the point that he would even take Sally Hemings on tour with him to Europe on vacation. He would take this little black girl on the ships, because there were no planes, on the ships, so he can fondle her and sleep with her even while he was out of the country. That's how sick he was. For those of you who saw Birth of a Nation, for those of you who saw the Nat Turner picture, Birth of a Nation, if you remember, once the rebellion started, it was Will, the executioner, who kicked open the door of one of the slave masters. Y'all remember this scene? He kicked the door open, murdered the slave master, and out from under the blanket on the bed where the slave master slept, what happened? A little black girl, only about 10 or 11 years old, climbs out from under the blanket. Will picks her up and takes her out of the slave master's house. Do y'all remember that scene? The little black girl climbing from under the blanket? Do you know what that scene symbolized? That scene symbolized not only Thomas Jefferson, but millions of white men, slave masters and non-slave masters, who would spend the night with little black girls, not their white wives, not the adult African enslaved women, but our daughters were used as bed wenches for the slave master. See, this is why when you Negroes say not all white people own slaves, they didn't have to, but they all participated in the psychological terrorism of African people. He didn't have to own a slave, but he would sleep with your daughter at night. Is that not as bad? He didn't own no slaves, but he would rape your mother in the daytime. Is that not as bad? You can't count the amount of white men, slave masters and non-slave masters, who spent the night with our daughters, spent the night with our little sisters, underage black girls being used as child sex slaves for white men, slave master or not. So you got Thomas Jefferson, this gigantic statue of Thomas Jefferson in a slave exhibit. He's white Jesus looking over everybody who participated in the anti-slavery movement. Now, the excuse they're going to give you, brothers and sisters, the excuse that they give you is that we're trying to show you that the writer of the Declaration of Independence, which he plagiarized, the author of the Declaration of Independence, former Secretary of State, founder of the University of Virginia, former president of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, was a slave owner. We want to show that. Okay, but if you want to show that, why is he on the pedestal? If you want to show that he was a hypocrite, why is he on the pedestal? Why is he raised up so high? Why does he get a statue? Why does he get a statue? If he gets a statue, why is the statue in the slave exhibit?
Okay, y'all. Let's talk about it. Okay? Let's talk about it. He is in a history museum. He is in a history museum. So if Thomas Jefferson is part of that history, is there a problem of having a statue? I mean, it is a history museum, right? I'm just asking. I'm just asking. I'm just a person that's asking, y'all. I'm just a person who asking. Okay? If you are in a history museum, can you be upset that they put certain people inside of that history museum? Because it is a history museum at the end of the day. So I don't know. What do y'all think about that? Do you think he has a right? Do you think he has a right to cry about who's inside of the history museum when it is a history museum at the least? I don't know. What y'all think, man? What y'all think? Y'all think he has a right to get mad how small or how big the statue is? I'm not saying the part Thomas Jefferson played. I'm just saying it is a history museum. So is there any problem that there is a Thomas Jefferson statue that's however tall it is, even though it's in part of the history? I don't know. I'm just asking. When did he go there? I'm not sure. He said, I'm asking somebody. I don't know. I think he enjoys saying certain words. Jay says, also, Sally Hemings was not only a slave, but she was the sister of the deceased wife. Sally Hemings looked damn near white, by the way. I got to find someone else who went. Umar is just hating like he does everything. Damn. I think he needs to work opening up FDM. Y'all cold-blooded out here. Virgo said they need to hire Umar to redo that museum. More he says matter, I guess. Hey, I'm just asking, man, because it is a history museum at the end of the day. So I mean, I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe he wants it in a different part of the museum. Maybe that statue can go in at a different part. I don't know. I'm just asking.
Why is he giving more respect? Listen, brothers and sisters, Thomas Jefferson is given more respect in the slavery exhibit than slaves or those who fought against it. How is that accepted? He's given more respect than the slaves and the freedom fighters in the slavery exhibit. How is that respected? Thanks to your former president, George Bush, and his wife. And I'm willing to bet that President Barack Obama, who y'all love so much for doing nothing for black folks, but putting us back in Jim Crow, who y'all love so much for doing nothing. I cannot believe that him nor his wife, Ms. Obama, First Lady, how could y'all sit by, look at this, and not offer some criticisms for how this thing needs to be made a little bit better before we open this up? Obama has done nothing for black folks. The least thing you could have done, brother, my brother Obama, brother, the least thing you could have done was made sure that that museum, which was built under your presidency, Bush may have authorized it, but it was built under your presidency. The least thing you could have done was made sure that it accurately reflected the struggle and the strength of African history and culture. That's the least thing you could have done, Barack Hussein Obama. That's the least you could have done. You couldn't even do that. So then where they have Thomas Jefferson, they have some bricks, right? And each brick has the name of different Africans that Thomas Jefferson owned. Okay? So they have a stack of bricks, and it has names of different Africans that Thomas Jefferson owned. Okay? Now, they do tell you that he owned 609 slaves during the course of his lifetime. I'm going to repeat that. He owned 609 slaves. Can I say that one more time?
Okay. So now he's firing off on Obama. Because now you can see this was made. This is an old video, obviously. The old video, obviously. So he firing off of Obama because this happened during Obama being the president. He's shooting at Obama. He's like, this happened under your watch, Obama. This is your fault. Now, look, I don't know who put money into this museum. He said President Bush is the one, who authorized this, but it got made under when Obama was president, and he ain't do nothing to make sure it was right. Okay, what y'all think about that? And now Dr. Umar is citing numbers. Now, Dr. Umar saying this individual owned 509 slaves. Now, we're going to see if Dr. Umar is going to cite his sources or he's just going to say whatever he want to say. We're going to see. Is Dr. Umar going to cite his sources for the 509 or he just going to say it and keep going? I don't know. All right, what's up, Intrinsic? What's popping, baby? Make sure y'all sub to Intrinsic. She got that soothing late night cruise type of voice, you know what I'm saying? So when she go live, if she ain't going in on somebody, if she's cool, calm, and collective, she got one of those one of those when you driving home type of, you turn the radio on and she gets that radio disc jockey up there just letting you know, everything gonna be all right. And they play a song to help you get through the day. That's who Intrinsic is. Okay. Okay. So when Intrinsic ain't going in, and she just her cool laid back self. She, when you driving home and you probably have a little rough day, you turn it on and it's that radio disc jockey gonna play one of your favorite joints to get you through that time when you that's who Intrinsic is, okay? All right, let me see. Jaden says, meanwhile, one book, what is it, Scholar Tunde. And then what did he say? One trick. What did he say? Oh, one book scholar today doesn't have enough respect to learn more about history than what's on YouTube. Nah, Jaden, he got some history, man. He's definitely good at history. I ain't gonna say that. Transcript says Obama was the president, not an effing historian. Y'all wanted him to be the Messiah so bad, and when he wasn't, y'all don't give him credit for. Okay, I can rock with that. Intrinsic says Obama didn't do SHIT for no black people. I'm sorry, I said what I said. Period, poo. All right, a lot of people saying that. I'm not mad at that. What is the priority, country or museum? Miss Troll, Obama singing to Umar, but I didn't start that fire. Yo, Obamacare don't count. Economy was messed up. Black and had more jobs. Black LGBTQ can get married. What you want him to do? Yeah, he did have the Obamacare. We ain't fronting. He did some stuff, y'all. He did do some stuff. We ain't gonna front. We can't act like he ain't do nothing. He good at history too. People who don't verify what he said. Yeah, Obama did some stuff. He did some stuff. We ain't gonna front, man. We ain't gonna front, man.
I'm gonna say this one more time. I got to say this. He owned 609 slaves during his lifetime. And he gets rewarded at the National African American Museum for dehumanizing and raping 609 Africans, and they give him a bronze statue in the middle of a slavery exhibit. Now check this out. Let me give you some comparison. Brothers and sisters. And some of you asked, what does Ifa Tunde mean? You saw the movie Birth of a Nation. When Birth of a Nation comes on, little Nat Turner gets a spiritual reading. Do you remember the priest in Birth of a Nation, the beginning of the movie that gives Nat Turner his reading? Well, that's Chief Olaitan of the Oyotunji African Village. He happens to be one of the members of my spiritual team. I have others. Chief Ifalo Doom, Tulsa, Oklahoma. I have others. Baba Akinlan in New Orleans. I have others. Mama Yeye Fini, South Florida. I have others. But Chief Olaitan is the elder of my spiritual team. He's the chief of the Oyotunji African Village. And just like Nat Turner, He was the first to give Dr. Umar Johnson a spiritual reading. And when he gave me that reading, he called to the spirit to choose a name for me. And when he cast the divination for Dr. Umar Johnson, the name that was given to him for me was Ifatunde. This comes from God, Ifatunde. This comes from the ancestors, Ifatunde. I did not choose this. It came through divination. What does it mean? Destiny has returned. That's what it means. Ifatunde means destiny has returned. So that means ancestors sent me to finish their work. Boom. Facts.
Boom. Facts.
Ancestors sent me to finish their work. Facts.
Facts.
So let's get back to this.
Facts.
Not far from where Thomas Jefferson is, not far from where Thomas Jefferson's statue is, there's a little exhibit for Nat Turner. There's a little exhibit for Nat. They have the name Nat Turner. And then inside of the glass case, there's a small little Bible that was donated to the Smithsonian Museum. A descendant of one of the white folks who survived the Nat Turner War. So one of the descendants of the white folk who survived the Nat Turner War dedicated their Bible to the museum. So the display is not even about Nat Turner. The display is about the white folks who survived Nat Turner. And all they do is put Nat Turner's name on the glass that contains the white Bible. And at the bottom, there's a little caption describing the Nat Turner War. So this is what Nat Turner gets. Nat Turner gets his name and a 5-sentence description of his place in Black history. Thomas Jefferson gets a statue.
Oh. Uh-oh. Y'all see his face. He in disgust. Y'all see his face. Y'all see his face. He disgusted. Disgusted that his man, his brother. Huh? Okay. Okay. His man only get a glass case with a white man's Bible that survived with a little description. And Thomas Jefferson gets a statue. Now we understand why he mad at the statue. This is really why he mad at the statue. It's right here. Look at his face. He's disgusted. Huh? Nat Turner only get a glass case with his name on it, a white Bible from a man who survived the Nat Turner War, and a little description why Thomas Jefferson get a statue. Ooh, this is why he's upset at the statue. Now it's starting to make some sense, in my opinion, anyway. In my opinion, this is why he's mad at the statue. I will when I go live. I don't have a subs to share streams yet. He is making me look up stuff. Jaded. He's always focused on Nat Turner. What about the other 30 some odd slave rebellions? He outraged with Thomas Jefferson. Now we know why he's upset at the goddamn statue. Because the Nat Turner only gets a case with his name on it, a little description in a white Bible from a survivor. They got virtual exhibits, online collections. This man is not an educator. He thinking trifling F methods. Now it makes sense. Now it makes sense why he's so upset at the Thomas Jefferson statue, because he loves Nat Turner. Y'all know that. Frederick Douglass, Marcus Garvey, Nat Turner, Pan-African, all about Pan-African. So y'all already know what this is about now. Now we know why. Okay, Marcus Garvey, Frederick Douglass, Nat Turner, all about Pan-African. Okay, so the Pan-African only gets a glass case with a name on it. You know what I'm saying? A little description, 5 sentence, and Thomas Jefferson get a stat. This is my opinion. It's only my opinion, man. I'm just one man. Just one man. It's only my opinion, man. It's only my opinion.
You don't see the contradiction in that, my brothers and sisters? You don't see the disrespect in that, my brothers and sisters? Okay? Now, okay, you go through the slavery floor. You go to floor number 2, fight against slavery, Civil War. A lot of the same stuff you see in any museum. And that's another thing, brothers and sisters. The 3 history floors. Remember, 3 history floors on the bottom and then 3 contemporary floors on the top. The 3 history floors on the bottom, there was nothing innovative about it. There was no new information. It's the same stuff you see every museum you go to. $540 million? $540 million. And I'm walking, I'm like, okay, if you don't know this stuff, it'd be good to read. It's worth y'all going to get an introduction to Black history. It's good for introduction. But every museum got this stuff in there. Now, is there more in the Smithsonian? Yes, they have more printed information. They have more printed information. But the way in which they bring that information to life, I would say they paid very little attention and value to how they would express our struggle, how they would express our history, how they would express our culture. For example, Thomas Jefferson gets the statue, and then he gets a lot of bricks with the names of some of the slaves that he owned. They should have put the names of all 600. They didn't want to do that because they have to protect his image. White supremacy ain't about the truth. White supremacy is about power.
Okay. Shout out to Jaded for that. Jaded says, no information, ironic coming from Umar. Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the having this same type of monumental information throughout the country inside of one museum. Let's talk about that. He's saying that you spend $540 million on something that you can see. Now let's talk about this. History, right? When you try to learn history, you're gonna definitely see things over and over again. You're definitely gonna do that. It's I don't. They wanted to set it up, and if he wants to build a museum, he can set it up the way he want to set it up. Just school, right? He doesn't like the school system, so now he wants to build his own school to set up however he want to set up. I think Dr. Umar is not he's getting too upset about something that he didn't create. You know what I'm saying? Oh, no doubt, intrinsic. You know the vibes, baby. You know the vibes. It's only because. Okay, intrinsic. If you didn't have them eyes, nigga. If you didn't have those eyes, nigga. Okay, intrinsic. If you didn't have them eyes. I'm just trying to figure out why he's so upset at something that he didn't make. He didn't make it, right? So he said, yo, you should have added this piece and that piece. Well, all you got to do is build your own museum and add whatever piece that you want to add in there. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So if you think you could do something, if you read a book, right, say, okay, they missing this history. What you do is make a book and put that history in it. Ain't that how you do it? That's the monopoly, right? Monopoly. That's how monopoly was made. Okay, I think they should put this over here. Okay, then you get your money up, you get your resources, and then you build exactly what you thought they should have did. Since they didn't do it, then you do it. I mean, that's what I learned, man. That's what I learned, man. Instead of getting mad at something that somebody didn't do, you get your money up, you get your resources up, and then you do it. If you want somebody to learn a certain part of history, then you make sure that you put it out so certain people can learn that part of history. I mean, that's all I'm saying. Maybe I'm tripping, man. Maybe I'm tripping. I'm surprised he didn't start begging for museum money. Trying to get some people I know who went says they are going to have to come back for another visit. They wasn't able to see everything. Yeah, okay. This ain't crazy, bro. Hello. His book missing info replaced by blank pages. Hello, Mello. Hello, first time. How you doing? Hello, Mello. Salute to you. So I'm just saying, y'all. If I go this history class, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure if I go to a certain school and take the same history class, I'm pretty sure that they're going to teach something similar to that other school because it's about history, right? So you definitely going to see the same type of stuff. If you're talking about the same thing, you're going to see the same type of stuff. Just like in school. If I have this type of math class at this school, then go to another school, it's the same math class. You mean to tell me I'm going to learn something so different? No, you're not. You're going to learn the same type of stuff you learned over there. It's just a different teacher in a different area and a different class. So he's talking about African American history inside of a museum that has African American history, and he's saying it's just the same stuff over and over again. Well, like somebody said earlier in the comment section, a lot of stuff you spit, Umar, other people has already put out there that you are saying stuff that already been out there too. That's all I'm saying. Hey, how you doing? Hello, Mello. What y'all think?
And in order to control power, you protect the image of reality. You have to control the historical narrative. But when you look at Frederick Douglass, they didn't get that here. I thought Harriet Tubman was going to have some gigantic statue in the corner with pictures and lights. None of that. I thought my ancestor Fred was going to get some special tribute. None of that. Now, when you get to the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, he get a nice little thing. They got the hat Garvey wore. They got a little medallion, the same picture. Then next to him, you have someone who borrowed from Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He get the same little square. That's what they get. Elijah Muhammad and Marcus Garvey, they just put the nationalists together and gave them a nice little charity board. Thomas Jefferson got a statue. Marcus Garvey ain't got a statue. Something ain't right here. Thomas Jefferson got a statue. Nat Turner don't have a statue. Something ain't right here. Elijah Muhammad and Marcus Garvey, what they get? 6 feet of space. 6 feet of space. That's it. So the first floor is slavery, second floor the fight against slavery, third floor is the fight against like Jim Crow, fighting against like neo Jim Crow. Now there's an exhibit on the Angola prison in Louisiana, and they put some facts printed. See, here's what I need y'all to understand. A museum is not just supposed to provide printed information. A museum is supposed to dramatize the reality behind the printed information. Are y'all following me, brothers and sisters? You don't need a museum to give you printed information. You can get that out of a book. You need a museum to dramatize it. You're supposed to dramatize slavery so they can feel it. You're supposed to dramatize Jim Crow so they can feel it. Not just a bunch of dates. In 1619, blacks were brought to America. In 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation. In 1865, the 13th Amendment. In 1831, the Nat Turner War. That ain't telling us nothing.
Uh-oh. Y'all hear this? Do y'all hear this? He said the museums is not supposed to just have printed information. They're supposed to make it look like they're supposed to make it suspenseful. So when you walk in, you're supposed to feel the energy. It's supposed to captivate you when you walk in a history museum. So when you look over there, You're supposed to be able to feel yourself in that moment. Just like suspenseful movies, suspenseful TV shows, it's supposed to bring you on a roller coaster ride. Do you believe that? Do you believe that a museum is supposed to take you on a roller coaster ride? That way you feel like you're a part of the story. That's what he's saying. He's saying it's supposed to take you on an emotional roller coaster when you get there. When you look at history, you're supposed to be on an emotional roller coaster. Do y'all believe that? Do y'all believe that? Huh? Oh, what's up, Poo Poo? My Poo Poo Kid Kid. What up, Kid Kid Poo Poo? I don't know, man. I ain't been to too many museums. I've been to like one, I think one. But I ain't been to too many. But if the museum's supposed to take you on an emotional roller coaster ride once you step in that thing, and when you leave, you're supposed to be like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Let me know, man. Let me know what y'all think about that. What y'all think about that? Do y'all when you go into a museum, or do you want to be on the roller coaster ride? Emotional roller coaster? Do you want to feel like that? And then when you leave, do you want to be crying and on your knees and upset? I don't know. I'm just trying to ask what he's saying. I ain't got no dog in this fight, man. Huh? Do you want to be on the roller coaster ride when you go on a field trip to the museum? Yes or no? Huh? Let me know if that's what you want to do with your time when you go visit a museum. Do you want to be on an emotional roller coaster ride? Because that's what he's saying. Hello Mello says Walt Disney World of Slavery. You better stop it, Hello Mello. You better stop it right now. They said Walt Disney World of Slavery. You stop it, Mello. That would be nice, huh? That would be wild if you seen that, huh? That would be wild if they really made like a Disney made a slavery movie. That would be crazy, wouldn't it? That would be something to actually see if Disney came out with a straight up cartoon, emotional ride slavery cartoon. That would be crazy, man. That would be crazy. Lord, thank you. Let me see your transcript to my favorite pastor. Thank you so much. Huh? Praise my favorite judge, my favorite female judge. From a pastor to my favorite female judge, okay? All right. Can you imagine Walt Disney just popping up at the end of the month talking about we gotta making a slavery movie? Umar might have a heart attack, okay? Umar might make 20 videos if Walt Disney pop up at the end of the month with a slavery cartoon movie. You'll have to do a wellness check on Umar every day. Umar, you good? Hell no. Disrespecting Nat Turner up in that movie like that. How they gonna give Nat Turner a small piece of the cartoon movie? How they gonna give Nat Turner a small piece of the cartoon movie and give Thomas Jefferson 30 minutes? Huh? They gonna give my man Nat Turner a small piece of the cartoon movie and give Thomas Jefferson 30 minutes. Disrespect. Y'all don't see the trickery? It happened under Joe Biden administration. It happened under Joe Biden administration. Can you imagine that shit? Ah! He started blaming Joe Biden. Joe Biden, you signed off on this, Joe Biden. Kamala Harris. How come you didn't make sure that Nat Turner had 30 minutes like Thomas Jefferson had 30 minutes? Kamala Harris. She ain't done nothing for black people. Can you imagine that shit? He going off on Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, how you gonna let this happen, Kamala Harris? Kamala Harris ain't got nothing to do with no Disney, nothing. He gonna blame Kamala Harris for the Disney cartoon for black people. I gotta go see it for the second time. I left during the middle of it. You gotta go back. Yeah, I'm gonna go see it again. You gonna spend some more money, Doctor? Dr. Umar, you gonna give them some more money? I gotta go see it again. He hates the museum so much, but he gotta go back to see it again. This stuff is crazy. Can you imagine? Dr. Umar just going off on you. Dr. Umar, hold on, sir. No, you hold on. It's all about Pan-African. How the hell you gonna give Nat Turner that small ass piece in history? Sir, this is how I wanted to do it, sir. I spent my money. How much you spent on that movie? Walt Disney spent $700 billion on that movie. $700 billion? $700 billion. You don't see what they're doing? They control the narrative. If they can write history, they control the narrative of the history. Well, you know, in 2020 and 2021, you can make your own movie. Like people making their own movie. So if you don't like what they did, you can actually recreate it. That's what I'm seeing. It's a lot of it's a lot of entrepreneur people out here who make their own films. So if they don't like that story, they could just recreate that story and add something in or take something out. That's what we're in. We're in an era where you can recreate something you don't like. So if you don't like this, you can find somebody to recreate your idea and put it out there. Dr. Umar got enough money and enough resources to recreate that museum, even make a documentary. Dr. Umar can make a documentary and put the information he want in there and then put it out there. The same way Tariq Nasheed did. Tariq Nasheed did it. Tariq Nasheed, look, I want the people to know about this. So what did he do? Make a documentary, put it out there. You think Tariq Nasheed covered every detail of history? No! He covered the parts that he wanted to be in there. When you are a creator, you create whatever you want to create, not what everybody else wants you to create. Now, you might do that sometimes to appease the people, but when you're actually creating, you're doing something that makes you feel good. That's your creation. This man is mad at everybody else's creation. This stuff is crazy, man. Yo, my man crazy, bro. My man crazy. My man out here wilding. Right, Umar, if you don't like the museum, you can open up a bando. Open up the bando museum. It's called Cookies. Cookies and Books. Coming this summer, y'all. Cookies and Books. Ifa Tunde. The bando edition. his museum gonna call Cookies and Books. Y'all be on the lookout for the new museum, Cookies and Books, coming this summer. FDMG, Cookies and Books. Yo, that stuff is crazy.
We got to dramatize that. There should be a skit on that. There should be sound and images on that. Dramatize it. This is supposed to be a human experience. Dramatize it. Now, some of you Negroes, he's complaining. He's another one of those Pan-African nationalists complaining. If I'm complaining, do me a favor. I'm going to shut you down right now. I'm complaining. I want you to go to the National Museum on Jewish History, and I want you to compare that to the National Museum on African American history and tell me I'm still complaining. I'm going to handle you. You jelly-back, Duncan Hines, soft batch Negroes. I'm going to handle you. Go to the Jewish Museum and compare the Jewish Museum to that Smithsonian Museum. That's what you do for me. That's what you do for me. And tell me if they handled Jewish history, who did not build America, mind you. They did not build America, mind you. But look at how their history and culture is treated in their museums compared to that Smithsonian. what they do is they diminish the experience. Remember, the museum is not a university. This is not a course. This is not an objective course. A museum is supposed to be biased towards the people whose history and culture they are narrating. You're supposed to take an interest in the people you are narrating. You're supposed to dramatize the fight against slavery, not no dates and facts. A picture here, Nat Turner? Nat Turner? You could have put up the police sketch that they drew for Nat Turner. They have a house in Jerusalem, Druryville, that they found that is a house where some of the killings took place. Why wasn't that house put in there? Why couldn't we walk into the house where Nat Turner slayed the serpent with his own weapon? Quote, slayed the serpent with his own. You're supposed to dramatize this. You dramatize Thomas Jefferson, but you don't dramatize Nat Turner, Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But don't get me wrong. They had a couple little videos in there, eyes on the the same stuff. See, what bothers me about this museum, y'all, because it's brand new. Most museums, you know, they were built 10, 20, 30 years ago, right? This is new. This is the Smithsonian. This is the National. This is Washington. So I'm thinking we're going to see new stuff, new information, it's the same old stuff. It's the same old Black history. Nothing new or innovative in this. Facts. Now check this out. I'm walking through the museum. And there's a display case. And inside the display case is a pair of Nike low-top Air Force Ones, right? Nike Air Force Ones, okay? And these Nike Air Force Ones have a picture of Barack Obama on it. So they were custom made. They're like Obama Air Force Ones. Okay, I never saw them before. I don't know if they were made just for the museum or whether they actually had some Obama Air Force Ones. I just never saw them. But they have these Nike Air Force Ones with Obama face on them, custom made, inside of a display case. Calling this culture. This is on display in an African, some Nike Air Force Ones with Obama face is a part of African culture. Are you serious? Are you serious?
I'm okay, check this out. What he's saying, they put some Nike Air Force Ones of Obama inside of the museum. Are you serious? Are you serious? What y'all think about that? Should that be in there? Should Obama be inside of the museum? Should Obama be inside of that museum? Again, whoever made that museum wanted that to be in there. Are you serious? Are you serious? What y'all think about that? Do y'all believe that Obama did enough to be inside of the history museum? Are you serious? Nike Air Force Ones inside of the museum with President Obama, former president, let's correct that, former President Obama got his face on some Air Force Ones talking about, yes, we can. Y'all rocking with that, man? Y'all rocking with that? Y'all rocking with that? Are you serious? Are you serious? Y'all let me know if y'all rocking with that, man. Y'all rocking with that? Intrinsic said, no, sir. Hell no. All right, Jaden says, there's a whole section dedicated to Black contribution to music. He doesn't speak about that. Jaden, he's doing what the museum doing, right? They put in what they want to put in. He's crying about what he wants to cry about. I don't see the problem. Child, if Umar Johnson could be in there, he wouldn't be saying, hey, Honey Bee, thank you. There it is, Honey Bee. If he walked around that museum, if he walked around that museum, Honey Bee, and he seen FDMG up in that museum, he would have never made this video. You're not lying. Are you serious? If he was walking around and said, whoa, that's me? Wow, whoa. They got me up there? Oh my goodness. Oh wow, they got me up here, y'all. You right. You right. If they got him in there, he would never even made this video, y'all. He would have never made the video. If he made the video, he wouldn't be talking like this. I'm pretty sure he would have made the video because he got to do an update. So we're going to take that back. He had to do an update because he told the people he would. But he wouldn't be talking like this. If he was in there, he wouldn't be tripping, man. Yeah, but he'd be happy as hell that he was inside. Are you serious? Ken, how you doing, Ken in the house, y'all. We glad to see you, Ken. We glad to see you, baby. Okay, we glad to see you. We know the Umarian trick here. The Umarian nasty people tried to take you out. We understand. They nasty self. Okay, the Umarian nasty people tried to, take out my poop. He can get a statue in the Scammer Museum next to Garvey. Damn! Jaden said Garvey is a scammer like him. Cold, you better hope the Umarians don't see that, Jaded. They gonna find out what your real name is. Are you serious?
That's not my history and culture. We don't own Nike, and we damn sure don't own Obama. How the hell is that a part of African history and culture? But this is what they do. This is what they do. Now, it's about to get interesting. So you go through 3 floors of history, right? 3 floors of history. Now you come up. So you would think that when you come up to modern times, what you going to see? Modern struggle, right? You would expect that you're going to see something on Trayvon Martin. You would expect you would see something on Michael Brown. You would expect that you're going to see something on Sandra Bland or Eric Gardner, right? You would expect something on Walter Scott. You would expect something on Tamir Rice. There has to be an exhibit on modern police extermination of Black children and Black people. You would expect that in a National Museum of African American History and Culture, right? Wrong. I didn't see them nowhere. Now, maybe I overlooked it. I saw nothing on the modern police lynchings, extermination, and genocide of African people. If this museum is about our history and culture, how can you not deal with our struggle today? How can you not deal with our struggle today? But let me tell you what you do see. Mind you, you're going from history to the present. You're going from history to the present, right? You get up to the 4th floor. I don't even know what the hell the 4th floor was about. I don't know what that was. A wasted damn floor. I don't know what the hell that was. Okay? So let's go to the 5th floor. 5th floor and the 6th floor. Guess what the whole 5th floor is basically dedicated to? Not all of it, but most of it. The 5th floor is athletics. LeBron James, Venus and Serena Williams, okay, Jackie Robinson, Michael Jordan. Now check this out, brothers and sisters. I ain't got nothing against LeBron. Black man, Black wife, I respect it. Serena Williams, Venus, I love what they done. Michael Jordan, as far as I'm concerned, he shouldn't have been in there because he got a white wife, white cute. His ass shouldn't have been. I'm sorry, ain't no black man with no white wife not cut. But I understand. Greatest basketball player of all time. They had to throw him in there. But here's what I don't like. This is a museum on African American history and culture. You only have 3 floors for contemporary Black culture. You only have 3, right? Because the other 3 was history, 3 now. How the hell you dedicate almost a whole floor to athletes? A whole floor to athletes. My damn history and culture ain't no damn basketball and football. You give that a whole floor? Listen to me, brothers and sisters. Listen to me. And don't you worry about that Dustin Jackson, because I'm going to block your ass soon when I'm done. So you ain't got to worry about making no more comments. Nut ass. But anyway, if this is about African history and culture, how do you find time? How do you find time to dedicate a whole floor to athletics?
Okay. So he mad about athletics? But isn't that part? Isn't that a part of this? Isn't athletics a part of history? Okay, I'm starting to believe that he's only mad about isn't athletics part of history? Like music is a part of history, right? So athletics have to be part of history, just like music is a part of history. I'm confused now why he's upset, y'all. This is petty. This is petty now. It's getting petty now, y'all. This is getting petty now. This is getting petty, y'all. I'm sorry. This is getting petty. He was tired by the third floor. Umar proving his lack of scholarship. This is getting petty now, y'all. What the hell? What the hell? Athletics is part of this. Just like music is a part of this. Just like being a creator is a part of this. Just like being a freedom fighter is a part of this. I don't understand, man. I don't get it now. Now I'm confused. He's mad about history that's actually history. I'm lost. I'm lost, y'all. I don't understand, man. I don't understand, man. I'm lost. Can y'all help me out? Because athletics is part of history, just like music, just like building your own foundation is. All that stuff is a part. So somebody help me out because I'm confused now. Now he being petty now, y'all. He being petty now. I don't understand this.
Do you know what that is saying? Y'all need to understand something, brothers and sisters. You're going to have people from around the world visiting this museum. You're going to have people from around the people who want to know about you going to come here. They're going to come here. Arabs going to come. Chinese going to come. East Indians going to come. Mexicans going to come. White folks going to come. We want to learn about the Black American experience. Let's go to the National African American Museum. And they're going to walk out of slavery, right? 3 floors of struggle. 3 floors of struggle. And it's going to take them right to basketball and football and baseball and track and tennis. Are you serious? A whole floor of that? A whole floor of that shit? We need a whole floor of athletics? So you're telling me, check it out, fam. Let me give y'all a little comparative analysis here. There's 1 floor on slavery. 1 floor on slavery. You could say almost 2 because of the fight, the Civil War. So you got 1 or 2 floors on slavery. It's really 1. And then you got 1 whole floor on athletics. What are you saying? 1 floor for slavery, 1 floor for basketball and football. Do you know what you're doing? Do you know what you're doing? You're saying that athletics is just as important as understanding the African struggle for freedom and justice. How can they be on the, why are they giving equal weight? Athletics should have been given 1 little thing. You could put it in there. We've done a lot in sports. Yes, you can put it in. I'm not saying exclude it, but it don't get a whole damn floor. We got much more to talk about. There's so many exhibits that were not on display. Where was the exhibit on Black inventors? Black inventors. We invented the gas mask, stoplight, helicopter, a cell phone, internet, self-lubricating engine, the shoe machine. Look at all the things, medicines. Look at all the things Black people invented. There's no exhibit on Black inventors, but you got a whole floor for basketball dunking, married to white women ass Black men. Are you serious? Are you serious? This should have been a whole exhibit on the role of black women, a whole exhibit on the role of black women in the freedom struggle. Where was it at? Where was it at? This should have been a whole exhibit on historically black colleges, a whole exhibit, every HBCU. That should have been a whole floor, the struggle for black education, a whole floor. Where was that at? But you got a big screen with LeBron James dunking balls. You got a big screen with Michael Jordan dunking balls at a museum on my history. Are you crazy? Insult. That was an insult, brothers and sisters. That museum is an insult. Some of y'all won't understand, or understand it. It's going to go right over your head. Y'all going to walk in that museum and y'all going to say, what was he talking about? It's nice in here. A whole floor for athletes. Now, let me throw something at y'all. Let me throw something at y'all. Michael Jordan has a tall, beautiful, shiny statue. Venus and Serena have a tall, life-size, beautiful statue. Jackie Robinson has a beautiful statue. Okay? But can I ask you a question? How in the hell does Michael Jordan get a statue, but Frederick Douglass does not? How in the hell does Venus and Serena get a statue, but Harriet Tubman does not? How in the hell does Jackie Robinson get a statue, but Nat Turner does not? Do y'all understand me right now? Are y'all feeling me right now? You making shiny, beautiful statues for athletes, but you hardly have any. What a Fannie Lou Hamer statue.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So he's saying Harriet Tubman don't have a statue, Nat Turner don't have a statue, but he's saying those sports people, they got a statue. Okay. My take on this is, once again, it's like a wax museum, right? If you go to a wax museum, they have certain people in there. They don't have everybody in history in there. They have whoever they want in there. Can you imagine Dr. Umar showing up to a wax museum? I can't believe it. You got Beyonce in here, but don't have Gladys Knight in here? That's what he's going to say. You got Beyonce in here, but you don't have Gladys Knight in here. That's what he's going to show up to the wax museum and say that. You got Beyonce in here, but not Gladys Knight? Not Aretha Franklin? You don't have Aretha Franklin in here? What? Not no Whitney Houston in here? That's what he gonna do. You got Michael Jackson in here? You don't got the Temptations in here? You don't got Prince in here? You got Michael Jackson, but you don't got Prince in here? Nigga, yo, they put up whoever they want to put up, bro. That's what they do. If you in charge of the museum, you're gonna put whatever you want in the museum. If you're in charge of a museum, you're gonna put whatever you want in the museum. So that's how it goes. Like in his school, right? His school is only Pan-African. This is funny coming from Umar. His school's only Pan-African. You can't have weave in your hair. You can't have a perm in your hair. You only can be happy to be nappy. You can't wear no makeup. So it's funny that he can do it. With his school, he can do whatever he wants. But with somebody else's creation, you got to do it. I can't believe you didn't put this in there. But you have a only Pan-Africanism school. You only can do whatever you want because it's your school. So they get to wear the clothes you want. They only can come dressed the way you want. They only can learn whatever you want. Whatever curriculum you put up, it goes with whatever you want. So in the museum, they put out whatever they want. That's it. Yo, this nigga crazy. Yo, this dude crazy, man. I can't believe it. This is crazy, dog. This is crazy. Jaden says Limousin Center for the Study of Invention and Innovation, 1300 Constitution Ave. Wade Frederick had a white wife. Oh. He said he said it was after he was about to die. He said it was cool for Frederick to have a white wife because he already had a black wife and he was about to die. Or some crazy stuff he said. Do we know what Nat Turner looked like? Not Gladys. He be mad that the backup singers are missing. Right. You got right. Where is the Pips at? You got Gladys Sniper. Where is the Pips? Are you serious? You got Jennifer Lopez? But you ain't got Brandy? They got Jennifer Lopez in the Max Museum, but they don't got Brandy. Are you serious? Jennifer Lopez? Huh? But you ain't got Brandy or Monica, but you got Jennifer Lopez? Are you serious? Yo, they got Britney Spears? They got Britney Spears? Are you serious? Britney Spears? Britney Spears? Are you serious? They got Monica Lewinsky. They got Monica Lewinsky. They got Monica Lewinsky. Are you serious? Monica Lewinsky, famous for getting on her knees. Are you serious? This is crazy, man. What's wrong with this man? You got Michael Jackson, but ain't got Bobby Brown, right? Are you serious? This guy's funny, man. But Jordan had a black wife first too. All right. Jordan definitely had a black wife first too. Man, you know this dude, wow. Umar has a lot of resentment of athletes in sports. Yeah, Rev G, but he's still asking for money though, Rev. Hey, Rev, he's still asking for money though. No matter how much resentment he got. Hey, y'all, can y'all send me some money? Can y'all send me some money to FDMG? Where's Fred Jenkins? He's engineered all those tracks. Are you serious? This is crazy, man.
With an Ida B. Wells statue. But you got statues for athletes, brothers and sisters. When you go to that athlete floor, it's going to blow your damn mind. They got lights, cameras, action. Okay, check this out. On that fourth floor, when you come up from the bottom, I'm counting from the bottom, that fourth floor, they have an interactive Black Greek fraternity and sorority step show thing, okay? Step show, okay? You can stand on this square, and there's some brothers and sisters, and they'll show you how to step on the video, right? You know how you do that, the video tutorial? Stand here, and we're going to show you how to step like black people, right? Okay? Huh? I'm not against it. Don't get me wrong. But if you can do an exhibit on stepping, okay, fraternity, sorority, stepping, why the hell you didn't make that whole floor the HBCU floor? So you're going to show them how they step and dance and shit, but you ain't going to show the history of struggle at Howard, the history of struggle at Hampton, the history of struggle at Elizabeth City, the history of struggle at Lincoln and Cheney. You ain't going to show them that. You ain't going to show them the history and struggle at Wilberforce, the history and struggle at Central, the history and struggle at North Carolina Central. You ain't going to show them that. So you're going to show them how they like to dance and step and party at the fraternities, right? We could do all this, but we ain't going to give you the history on the HBCUs. Now, don't get me wrong. They do have a little HBCU thing, but it's small compared to what they did for NFL and NBA Negroes. What has Michael Jordan done for black folks? I love Venus and Serena, but what have they done for black folks? Y'all get statues, but our heroes and sheroes don't get no statues. You making athletics more important than struggle and leadership and organization and freedom. So that's the fifth floor. Mind you, you cut up. First floor, slavery. Second floor, Civil War. Third floor, Reconstruction. Fourth floor, how to step like a black Greek, zip coon. Okay? I'm not calling the Greek stepping zip coon. I'm saying that when white people come and they don't understand the history of the HBCU and how the Omega and the Alpha, and I know not all the fraternities were founded at HBCUs. Alpha Phi Alpha wasn't. Shout out to the Alpha Phi Alpha brothers. You guys just had your anniversary of the founding, oldest fraternity. You understand? But you got to put history to that, because white folks look at us and they think we just a whole bunch of dancing. We just a bunch of dancing, basketball playing people. You got to put that in context. You don't just let people walk on the floor, stand here, and we'll show you how they do what they do at the step show with no damn contextual history for it. You don't do that. That's making a mockery of our culture. That's a mockery of black Greek culture. That's a mockery of HBCU culture. That's a mockery of African culture. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So then you get up to the sixth floor, and guess what's on the sixth floor? So the fifth floor was all athletes, and the sixth floor is entertainment, singing, rapping, Beyonce stuff, the Jackson 5, Motown, Marvin Gaye. I love it. I love me some Marvin Gaye. I love me some Jackson 5. But you don't get a whole floor, though. We have a Motown museum in Detroit for that. The original Hit Factory. We got that. Shout out to Detroit. I'll see y'all December 30th. We got that. But you don't need a whole floor for music. Who don't know about black music? That's all we talk about, black music. We got the Soul Train for that, BET for that. We got enough of that. Does it need to be included? Yes, but you don't get a whole floor. How does music get a whole floor, but you ain't got a whole floor for HBCUs? You ain't got a whole floor for Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism should have been its own floor, because Pan-Africanism was largely created here out of the minds of enslaved Africans. Where's that at? There should have been a whole floor on black nationalism, whole floor on black inventions, a whole floor on the mass incarceration of black men. How do you have no exhibit on the mass incarceration of black men? That little thing with Angola. It says Angola houses more inmates than any prison in the United States. Angola houses more inmates than any prison in the United States. America has the largest incarceration rate in the world. Words. But they don't bring it to life. No drama. Y'all should have been interviewing brothers who are in jail in Angola. Y'all should have been having pictures of the family of those in Angola talking about the experience. Those brothers in Angola, they still have them on the what they call that, the chain gangs. They still chain ganging in Angola. Where was that? They still have an overseer riding on horseback in Angola. Where is that? And why didn't you tie Angola into the national mass incarceration movement against black people? Why you cut Angola out as if Angola is some sort of special case, when what's happening in Angola, although that's the worst example, is happening all over the country? It should have been a whole floor on mass incarceration. With all the special ed going on, all the low test scores for black kids, all the ADHD, all the learning disability, this should have been a whole floor on the struggle to educate black children. Not in 1619, not in 1819, not in 1917, but in 2017. Listen to me, brothers and sisters. There was no respectful coverage of the evolving struggle of Africans in America today. There was nothing on who you were before slavery, and there was nothing on what you are doing now to achieve equality in this country. They put us in a damn time capsule. You know what's sad about this museum? Anyone who watches this museum anyone who goes to this museum who's not black, guess what the impression is? I'm going to tell you what the impression is. The impression is going to be that they were slaves, Abraham Lincoln freedom, and right after Abraham Lincoln freedom, they start cooking chicken in fat back, and they started playing basketball and making music. That's the whole museum. That's the museum. I'm going to give it to you again. You start at the bottom. They were slaves. America brought them from Africa and civilized them. America realized what they were doing was wrong, so Abraham Lincoln freed them. They still suffer some racism after they got freed, and they fought against Jim Crow for the right to play basketball, football, marry white girls, and make music. That's what you get. The bottom is slavery. The top is athletics and entertainment. You don't end no museum on African history and culture with no damn sports and music. Are you crazy? Laura Bush, was you smoking? I think Laura Bush must have had a blunt. What was you doing? Obama, Michelle, what the hell is y'all doing? You don't let this go on like this. That's an insult. You don't end no museum with no athletics and entertainment. Brothers and sisters, I'm telling you, that $540 million, guess what? I believe 440 million went to the sports exhibit and the entertainment exhibit. Facts.
Yo, he going in. He going in right now. Okay, he going in right now. All right, he going in. Do y'all believe that he went through every floor and told you that it's something wrong with every floor? He didn't like any floor. He didn't like any floor 100%. So is it the museum that's off, or is it Dr. Umar that's off? He didn't like any floor 100%. So is Umar is off, or did the people really do a bad job? Remember, this is only one person. This is only one person telling their experience at this museum. So do you think the museum is bad, or you think Dr. Umar is just hating? One, for Dr. Umar is hating. Two, that museum did what they supposed to do. Okay, did the museum do what they supposed to do, or for number two or number one, Dr. Umar just hating, man? He just out here hating. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't create it, so he out here hating. Let us know, man, because he going in. Every floor, he got a problem with every floor. You should have put this in this floor. You should have put that in that floor. You should have never put that high. That's too big and that's too small. And so it don't matter what floor he's on, he's never going to be satisfied. So, I mean, hey, you let me know. This shit kind of crazy, man.
Top two floors were done much better, more interactive, more alive than all three of the bottom floors. The money went to LeBron, Michael Jordan, Beyonce, and Motown. That's where the money went. Because all you got down the bottom, don't get me wrong, it's cute if you don't know no better. If you don't know no better, you're going to like it. But if you know better, you say, whoa. When I got upstairs, I said, whoa. The children will love the fifth and sixth floor. Your children will love the sports floor because it's interactive video and lights and statue. They're going to love the music floor. It's interactive hip hop and rap and da. Children will love that. Children won't appreciate the first three floors because they did not dramatize it. They dramatized basketball. They dramatized football. They dramatize R&B. They dramatize hip hop, but you don't dramatize the fight to end slavery. You don't dramatize the fight against Jim Crow. You don't dramatize the fight for the Civil Rights Bill and the Voting Rights Act. You don't dramatize the Garvey movement. You don't dramatize nothing that matters, but you want to dramatize this damn stereotypical buffoonery. Facts. Facts. And you know what's so sad? Let me tell you what's really sad. What's really sad is you Negroes are in the middle of a Christmas shopping spree. You Negroes are in the middle of a multi-billion-dollar Christmas shopping spree. Right now. Ain't got nothing to do with Jesus. Nothing to do with Jesus. Stop blaming Jesus. Show me in the Bible where it says, thou shalt buy gifts from white people for Christmas. Can you show me that? Show me in the Bible where it says, thou shalt waste all your disposable income with non-Africans in the name of Jesus. Can you show me that in the Bible? I ain't saw it. Can somebody show me that? Because I didn't see that. Show me that. But the point I'm trying to make is you Negroes out here hemorrhaging your money. Financial diarrhea. Financial diarrhea. Financial diarrhea. Okay? When you can take some of that money and we should be building our own national history of Africans in America museum. Facts. National history of Africans in America museum. One whole floor for the Moors. Everybody in. One whole floor for the Hebrews. One whole floor for Black Christians. One whole floor for the Sunni Muslims. One whole floor for the Nation of Islam. One whole floor for the guys and earth. 2 floors for revolutionary Pan-African nationalists. We're not more important than nobody else, but that's how important that is, because that's the only thing going to save us. Ain't no religion saving Black folks. You can forget that. A whole floor for HBCUs, a whole floor for Black invention, a whole floor for police brutality, a whole floor for miseducation, a whole floor for all of our young people who've been murdered. They had Emmett Till in there. They had the original casket that Emmett Till was buried in. You can walk past that. I'll walk past that. But that's it. But after Emmett, they should have showed Trayvon, Michael Brown, Freddie Gray. They should have showed how what happened to Emmett Till in Money, Mississippi is still happening now. There was no connection. The museum looked like we have arrived. You have LeBron James. You have arrived. You got Olympic gold medal. You have arrived. You selling multi-million. How the hell do you pervert my entire struggle and experience in this country into a desire to shoot basketballs and shake my ass to music? Are you kidding? Or they have a pair of the first Air Jordans inside of a glass case. Did y'all hear that? They have a pair of the first Air Jordans, the black and red ones. Okay, my uncle gave me his first pair when I was little. They got the Air Jordans inside of a, that ain't no Black history. You don't put that shit in no history museum. We don't control Nike. What the hell is y'all doing? Brothers and sisters, Obama sneakers, statues for athletes, no statues for heroes, nothing about the modern struggle, 12 million slaves. Now, what I hear, because the federal government put up half of the 540 million. The federal government put up half of the 540 million. So from what I'm understanding, a lot of athletes gave money to make the museum a reality. So maybe Laura Bush and whoever else was involved in this ridiculous project, maybe they felt that they had to donate a whole floor to athletes and entertainers because athletes and entertainers played a large role in matching the federal allocation. Okay, so the feds put up half. Your tax money paid for half of that. Your tax money paid for half of that. Okay, and then the other half was contributions. But even still, listen, if Jerry Seinfeld donates $100 million to the National Museum on Jewish History, do you think Jerry Seinfeld is expecting a whole floor on Jews in Hollywood? No, he's not. Because this ain't about him. This ain't about Jews in Hollywood. It's about all Jews, right? So there's no excuse for making a whole floor for athletes and another whole floor for entertainers, because this ain't about them. And I'm not throwing them under the bus. This is not a disrespect for them, but it is disrespectful to put them ahead of those who fought for us to even be here. There would be no LeBron James if it wasn't for Dr. King. Do you understand? There would be no Serena Williams if it wasn't for Malcolm X, Ida B. Wells, Fannie Lou Hamer. Do you understand? So how do you give the children of the struggle more respect than those who actually struggle? Facts is not acceptable. It's not acceptable. Oh, I'm not done. I'm about to wrap this up because I got some evaluations to do. So after you go through this, after you go through this, you're going to be a little hungry, right? Because it's a lot of information in here. It's going to take you a while to get through. Now, I do want to say this. Everybody who told me it would take me a couple days to get through, I don't see that for me. Not for me. I can understand if you don't know nothing about Black history and you got to read everything, it might take you a couple days. And I don't see nothing wrong with people who know their history taking a couple days to read everything in the museum. You're going to learn some things because there's a lot of printed information. It's not expressed, it's not dramatized, it's not presented effectively, but there's a lot of printed information. But for me, I don't need, all I needed was 3 hours because half the stuff is the same stuff I see at every museum. So I didn't need to stop to read about who owned slaves and what colonies had more slaves and the Declaration of Independence and the Emancipation. I didn't read all that. Most of that stuff, we got that in 9th grade civics class. So for me, it wasn't much to quench my thirst. There was very little to quench my intellectual, historical, and cultural thirst in that museum. Now, some of y'all might say, well, yeah, but you know more than us on this. No, even for y'all, it might, I don't know. You got to see for yourself, but my children, yes, my children can spend more time in there because they haven't mastered all of that yet. But a child ain't going to want to spend too much time on the first 3 floors. Your children going to want to go straight to LeBron and straight to Beyonce. They don't want the bottom because the bottom is not, they didn't spend the amount of time and effort and energy to develop and present the history. It's just a bunch of the same stuff. Dates and notes and a couple pictures. And this is Martin Luther King's shoes. And this is Fannie Lou Hamer's gloves and that type of stuff. Your kids don't want to see that. They're not going to spend a lot of time down there because it's not presented. Now compare those bottom 3 history floors to the top 3. It's like night and day. It's like, I'm telling you, they spend all the money on them damn statues for Michael Jordan and Serena in them. Okay? It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. But I'm going to end on this. After you go through the museum, the exhibits, right? You're going to be somewhat hungry. You're going to be somewhat hungry, right? They got a cafe. So I went down to the cafe. I said, okay, let me see what they got. Let me see what they selling. African American Museum. I said, okay, what they're probably going to do, if I was in charge, I am going to have cuisine from the different African ethnic nations, not tribes. Tribes is a racist word. The different African ethnic nations and cultures. Millions came from Ghana. Let me put some Ghanaian food out. Show this is where they come from. Many came from Nigeria. Let me put some Igbo dishes out. A lot of enslaved Africans came from Igbo land. Let's put some Yoruba out. They came from Sierra Leone. Let's put some different dishes out to show what African Americans were eating in Africa before we stole them. So I'm thinking it's going to be a rich display of different cuisines from Africa. Do you think so? Do you want to know what I saw? I was there yesterday, memory fresh. Do you want to know what I saw? Macaroni and cheese, fried chicken, pork and beans. What else they had? Sweet potato pie, candied yams. Don't get me wrong. I love to eat these little things, but you don't put slave diet. You don't put stereotypical dishes from African American slavery in a museum on history and culture. It's supposed to be about history and culture. We didn't eat chitlins because we wanted to eat chitlins. We ate chitlins because all they let us eat was chitlins. We didn't do grits and shrimp because that was necessarily what we liked. It was because it was the cheapest thing. That's all we could get. Many of us worked slaves in Maryland, in Virginia, with a big fishing industry. Arabs, Asians, Southern Europeans, Mexicans, Latinos. And when I say Latino, I'm not talking about my Afro-Latinos, y'all with us. But you got people from all around the world. We're going to take our family to see the new African American Museum. Maybe we can learn about these people for the first time. And after they get bamboozled with sports and entertainment, they're going to go get something to eat. Look at this shit. A whole floor of basketball, a whole floor of music. And then when we go get something to eat, we got to eat chicken, greens, and macaroni and cheese. Are you serious right now? Fried chicken in a museum? Greens, mac and... If you don't get the gist of what I'm saying right now, if you don't get the gist of what I'm saying right now, then I feel sorry for you. In my opinion, that museum was disrespectful. And I believe that there was a hidden agenda in that museum. And the hidden agenda in that museum basically says this: these people don't care about nothing but sports, music, and soul food. Sports, music, soul food, and Black Greek step shows. Sports, music, soul food, Black Greek step shows. Letting them out of slavery was a mistake. Letting them out of slavery was a mistake. So when you see police kill Black folks, even when they're unarmed, even when they're defenseless, even when they're innocent, you should not worry about it. Because once you come out that museum, you're going to leave with the impression that Black people ain't good for shit except sports, music, soul food, and Black Greek step shows. That's a damn shame. That's a damn shame. Do I want you to go? I want you to see it. You need to see that. Now, when I called them, they said, well, ain't no tickets until March. We booked up. Black folks can't wait to get there, booked up. And that ain't just Black folks. That's whites, Chinese, people from all over the world coming to D.C. to learn about you. And they're going to get sports, music, Black Greek step shows, and fried chicken for $540 million. $540 million. Embarrassing. If we didn't have better things to do, I would say we need to have a massive boycott outside that damn museum. But we got some more pressing problems. I would say every Black person need to go there. Don't even let nobody go in there. This does not represent us. This is a disgrace and it is disrespectful. We do not condone it, and we don't want nobody walking in here. If we didn't have better things to do, we got other more important things to do right now. But that doesn't mean if they don't get that shit together, we may have to do just that. We may have to boycott the National African American Museum for significant, diabolical, strategic misrepresentation of true African history and culture. I am more than rap. I am more than slam dunks. I am more than chicken wings and collard greens and ham and pork and beans. So, brothers and sisters, I'm about to wrap this up. Now, some of y'all probably saying, Doc, I was about to take my family. Go ahead and take your family. If you can afford it, I live in Philly, so DC ain't but 2 hours. But if you tell me that you're going to take your tax return, you're going to take your income tax return and spend the whole thing to fly your family from California and pay for them expensive-ass Washington, D.C. hotels so your family can go to the National African American Museum, I'm not going to say don't do it, but I don't think I could spend my last to take my family to see that. The Great Blacks and Wax Museum in Baltimore, much better. Much better. The National Civil Rights Museum in Memphis, much better. The Apartheid Museum in South Africa will put that museum to shame. The Apartheid Museum in South Africa will put that museum to shame. I can say that. And there's problems with the Apartheid Museum in Johannesburg. But the Apartheid Museum in Johannesburg is 50 times better than that Smithsonian African American Museum. They don't have a whole floor dedicated to soccer in South Africa. They don't have a whole floor dedicated to sports and entertainment. That shit is about politics and struggle in history. And ours should have been about politics and struggle in history. You should go, but don't spend your last. You tell me, Doc, it's going to cost me $5,000, but I really want my kids to see this. You need to go to the Black African Holocaust Museum in Philadelphia. You need to go to the National Civil Rights Museum in Memphis. You need to go to Slave Haven in Memphis. You need to go to the Oyotunji African Village. That's where you need to go, where you get some real information on Black folks. But that there, for that to be the national, it's not even the best. It didn't cost $540 million for the Great Blacks and Wax. It didn't cost $540 million for the National Civil Rights Museum. It didn't cost $540 million for the Charleston Slave Tour. I know brothers and sisters that'll give you a tour for $20 that'll blow that whole museum to shreds. $540 million. Talking about you ain't got to pay to get in. I guess not. You just spent the $500 million. I should never have to pay. I guess not. But like I said, Ifatunde, I did not choose that. Chief Olaitan gave me that. My first ever divination at Oyotunji, I was given the name Ifatunde Oguntade is the last name. Ifatunde Oguntade. And Oguntade means Ogun wears the crown. I'm a son of Ifa and a son of Ogun. Facts. Facts. The god of war, deity of conflict, deity of energy, deity of courage, deity of construction, deity of creation. Ogun. Facts. So I'm going to end on that. One love.
All right, y'all. That's it. That's it. That's it. Hold on, man. What the hell going on? Hold up. All right. Okay. That's it. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. I gotta go get something to eat and whatnot. But yeah, that was kind of wild right there. You know, Dr. Umar, you know, that when it comes to the food, I'm with him on the food, though. I'm definitely with him on the food. When it comes to the food, I'm definitely with him on that. They definitely could have picked something else. They know they could have picked something else. But, you know, that type of food has became part of our, you know, what we do, what we like to eat. But if the history shows that that's slavery right there, you know, you definitely want to put something else in there. You know, so if you know anybody who went to the museum, please let me know so we can ask them and talk to them and do an interview with them and sit down what they think about that interview. We can compare and contrast, you know what I'm saying? So salute to all of y'all. Thank y'all for coming out, man. I'll see y'all next video. I'll probably drop another video later or come live later too. Make sure y'all follow me on BIGO, Bigo Live, Pastor Lee on there. Follow me on Instagram, Suicide H29 on Instagram. All right, follow my other channels, Poking the People Podcast and Suicide H29 3. All right, salute to y'all, man. I'm out of here. Peace.